You and President Trump have a good relationship. Can you tell me, was there one moment when you realized this is a guy that I can work with?
From the very beginning. I mean, I observed his campaign and I observed his first steps as president. First of all, I mean, the US people decided to elect President Trump, and he's very determined. He knows what he wants. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we disagree. But from the very beginning, I decided that we have and we can work together. And we have very direct exchanges, straightforward exchanges, and a very warm relationship. So from the very first meeting in June 2017, I think I understood it was not just feasible, but the best possible option.
You came here to the United States to pursue traction on the Iran deal. How far did you get?
First of all, the goal of my visit was not just that. This is the first state visit of President Trump's administration. So your objective for such a state visit is first of all to strengthen the friendship, strengthen the bilateral relationship, and build personal relations on this basis with the leaders, have direct exchanges with the people. That's the opportunity I took with several interviews, with the address to the Congress, and strengthening economic, scientific, cultural partnerships. And I think we delivered very well. On top of that, obviously, we are in a situation where our two countries can play a decisive role on Iran, on Syria, and different issues, and trade as well. So as for Iran, my perspective was to avoid just the US get rid of the JCPOA. France obviously does support the JCPOA because we signed it, exactly like the US. But we managed to build a new scenario with a new comprehensive deal with the content of the JCPOA, the post-2025 solution for nuclear weapons, the containment of the Iranian regime in the region, and a very comprehensive discussion on ballistic missiles. And President Trump agreed on that, which is for me brand new and was a good step forward. The second progress we made on this issue was to encompass Syria in this overall framework, and precisely to convince President Trump that we have our soldiers on the ground, and it's fine as soon as the war against ISIS is finished, we will leave. But our responsibility is beyond the war against ISIS, and I think now we agreed on that, which is very important to me.
Do you think that President Trump is misunderstood in Europe?
I don't know. I think that President Trump is definitely the leader elected in the US with the different, sometimes with different approaches. He has a very personal style, and is very controversial, even in the US. So I think in Europe, a lot of people do respect him. Some of the people don't understand automatically his decisions, but I think for me, it's not a question. The core question is how to play with it, because definitely the transatlantic relation is absolutely critical in the current environment. So we have to build together, we have to work. And I think that what I wanted to convey as a message during the state visit was the fact that our two countries shared this very strong history. From the American Revolution, the French Revolutions, to World War I, World War II. And we have to be, loyal and in the line of this common history. And that's very important to me. And I think when you enshrine people in this common history, when you enshrine people in this very strong destiny, it reduces a lot all the discrepancies you can have.
This notion of Me Too, what do you think about that? Because you have some differences of opinion in France, Catherine Deneuve, others.
I'm a strong believer, and I have to say, I didn't wait for the Me Too movement, because when I launched my movement, we organized a march, basically, to go to the people and understand what they wanted, how they felt, and so on. One of the main topics for people, never discussed, or very rarely discussed in the political field, was precisely women harassment and violence against women. That's why I put it in my program during the campaign, and it was one of my key objectives, and I decided to make it as a great cause for my mandate. Gender equality and fight against women violence. So I'm a strong believer in the fact that we have to preserve gender equality, and we have to fight personally against all this kind of harassment. As for the Me Too movement, we see different indeed expressions, but I think what we have to keep as a key message is no tolerance for people who behave like that. Never accept sexual harassment, never accept this disrespect of gender equality, because it's part of our DNA, it's part of our society. So I'm a strong believer in this big change.
Do you get the sense that it's a little bit different cultural sensitivity in France?
No, I think in our cultures now, in our countries, you have different expressions and so on, and it's normal. But for me, I want to stick to this essential and the very core message, and to get results, because I think what we have to do is now, on the basis of this very specific movement, is to change our society. It's to transform our society, precisely to build this gender equality and get rid of this sexual harassment and violences. Thank you.
Wonderful.